We mentioned right at the onset of the shir that the Ramban makes the greatest diak in the psukim. It says, "V'chodesh hashlishi, l'tzeis b'nei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim, bo midbar Sinai." And then the next pasuk says, "Vayisu mirafidim, vayavoyu midbar Sinai, vayachanu b'midbar, vayichan sham Yisrael neged ahar." And l'chura, the psukim are tzirik tzevegs. They're out of order. It should have said first, "Vayisu mirafidim, vayavoyu midbar Sinai, vayachanu b'midbar, vayichan sham Yisrael neged ahar," and then the Torah should say somewhere in that pasuk, if you want it to be another pasuk, "B'chodesh hashlishi l'tzeis b'nei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim," that's the day that bo midbar Sinai. And we mentioned what the Ramban says, and we mentioned what the Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh says, "Ha'ahava mekalkela," says Ashura. But the Ohr HaChaim, if you look at it inside, he has another mahalach in terms of why the Torah threw in this pasuk, "Vayisu me'refidim vayavoyu midbar Sinai, vayachanu b'midbar, vayichan sham Yisrael neged ahar." He says, "Ochein kavanas hakasafu." Lahaktem. It's coming to give us a little bit of a hakdama to Kabbalah Satira. And that is that there are shloishin yonim, heim ikrei ha'achana l'Kabbalah Satira. These are ikarim. These are things we have to have in order to be Makabal the Torah. Shebe'emtzo'usam nisratz Hashem lahanchilam nachla shakai, hi Torasenu hanima. And it's because of the fact that the Yidden were willing to sign up to these three things that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was nisratzis, and he said, "I'm going to give you my Torah haneima, my very, very sweet Torah." And all three of these ikrim, says the Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh, are marumas in this pasuk. Vayisu me'refidim, vayavoyu midbar Sinai, vayachnu b'midbar, vayichan sham Yisrael neged ahar. What are the three things? Says the Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh. Number one, vayisu me'refidim. Chazal say Refidim was called Refidim, sherafu yudeim in HaTorah. The Yidden were lazy when they were in Refidim. If you're lazy, you can't be Makabel the Torah. The Torah wasn't given for people that are lazy. The Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh says that's why you always find the lashon to be oisek in Torah. Right? What does it mean to be oisek? It means to be busy with it. You find hishtadlus in Torah. You find amelus b'Torah, because a lazy person is going to be very, very unsuccessful when it comes to Torah. Vayisu me'refidim. The Yidden had to first leave Refidim in order for them to be able to makabel the Torah. The second thing is vayachnu b'midbar. They had to be in the midbar. The midbar, we know, is a very, very humble place. There's nothing going on in the midbar, right? It's an eretz lo zarua. And the Yidden were being told that if you want to be makabel the Torah, you have to be in the midbar. And by the way, the midbar Sinai, because what's the mountain that Yidden are going to be makabel the Torah? Then you can be in makabel the Torah, midbar Sinai. You know, the Kli Yakar says in Parsha Shmois, here at Davar Nifla, that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu came to Moshe Rabbeinu, he told Moshe Rabbeinu, "I want you to be the one that's going to take the Yidden out of Mitzrayim." So what Moshe Rabbeinu say? Mi anoichi ke'elech al para. You have the wrong guy. Mi anoichi, I'm a nobody. I'm not the person. You have the wrong person. And what does HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell him? HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells him that I'm going to be with you. And then he says, that when they're going to leave Mitzrayim, they're going to serve me by this mountain. And if you remember, when we went through that shir, we spoke out the pshat of Rashi, and the pshat of the Ramban, and the pshat of the Rashbam, and there's more pshatim than that. Everyone has a different pshat of how the answer fits the question. If you take a look at the Kli Yakar and that pasuk, the Kli Yakar says, I'm going to tell you what the answer was. Moshe Rabbeinu said, "Mi anoichi." I'm a nobody. I'm not the right person. You know what the Eibishter told him? I'm going to give the Torah. And when I give the Torah, I'm going to give it on this mountain. This mountain, this is such a lowly mountain. Why would I give it on this mountain? The answer is because I love Anova. The fact that you're saying, "Mi anoichi, lokach nivcharta," that's why I want you to be the one. Is the tshuva to Moshe Rabbeinu's Mi anoichi. Mi anoichi, who am I? Exactly. That's why you're the person. The person who thinks he's the guy, he's not the one I want. Because you're walking around with this hergish of Mi anoichi, that's exactly why I want you to be the person. And the raya is, right, the Welt says, Moshe Kibel Torah Mi Sinai. Everyone says, Moshe Kibel Torah Mi Sinai. It should have said, Moshe Kibel Torah Bis Sinai, Al Sinai. Moshe Kibel Torah Mi Sinai. Moshe Rabbeinu was Nisratza, to be Makabel the Torah Misinai. When he saw that the Eibishter favors humility, he says, okay, you're right, if the Eibishter didn't take the nicest, shiniest mountain, so to say there, I'm someone that could be the one that's going to go ahead and do it as well. But Al Kapanim, they needed to have this Hakdama. They had to have the Hakdama of Vayachanu Bamidbar. They had to be humble. And then finally, Vayichan Sham Yisrael Neged Ahar. What does that mean? Everybody knows what that means. Ke'ish echad, b'leiv echad, like Rashi says. Klal Yisrael were told that if you want to be makabel the Torah, you have to be ba'achdos. And if you're not going to be ma'achdos, then you don't have a shaykhis to the Torah. Says the Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh, this pasuk was interjected. This is Al Pi Drush, because there's three Yesodis in this pasuk that are the Ikarim that every single Yid needs, that Klal Yisrael need in order to be Makabel the Torah. Number one, Vayisum Mirfidem, you can't be lazy. Number two, Vayachnu B'Midbar, humility. And finally, Vayichan Sham Yisrael Neged Ahar, Klal Yisrael has to be Ke'ishecha B'Leiv Echad. The Oimik in the Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh, I think, is, the Mishnah says in Abbas, there's Memches Dvarim Shat-Torah Niknas B'hem. There's 48 things that the Torah is Niknas. You go through it, it's a long list, it's 48 items. But there are three Ikarim, says the Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh. There are three ikrim. Those are all pratim, anafim. But if you want to be like Micha, and you want to be Hemidan al Shloisha, you want to go ahead and take all the Hakdamais and turn them into three. It's all in this pasuk. Vayisu mirafidim, you can't be lazy. Vayachanu b'midbar, you have to be humble. And finally, Vayichan Sham Yisrael Neged Ahar, you have to be Ke'ish Echad B'Leiv Echad.